Morning, guys. By the way, for those of you who are watching, I'm in a little bit of a pre-market trade here, looking for a quick sell-off back down to really just make an extra $20 profit. I did not think it was going to squeeze all the way up to these levels, but if it passes 27.60, I'm going to have to consider getting out. I was really just trying to ease in with a very conservative share size, and I do want to see a crash back down. I would love to see a crash back down right now, and I might even consider adding but if it breaks 50, I'm probably going to have to get out. I want to see this start to taper off. Okay, yeah. It's breaking high of day. Not a good trade here. Not a good trade. Breaking previous days post-market highs. So again, I don't know what to call this. I don't know if this is a short squeeze. Let's see here. This is very, very, very interesting. But I'm tempted to hold on to this just for a minute, just to see if this gets rejected. I should probably go ahead and come out 100 shares at a decent spot. We'll say 35. See if we can get 100 shares at 35. Let's see here. Well, if it breaks 35, it'll come down to 25. So let's see if we can do that on 25. See if we can get a quick flush. Oh, massive upsell. Okay, we'll go for 45 now. Gonna have to just scale out of my position. If we can get the break of 50, I'll be able to do that. And then I'll see if I can let the other... So, down 30 on that stock now. See if we can get... Let's see if we can get a crush back down to 26. I got a 27.25 average. If we could get a crush down to 26.85, that'd be great. Might even be able to get 26.75. That'll pretty much put me back up at an interesting spot. If we get the break of 20, I think that'll be possible. Yeah, I think we could definitely get down to, we'll say 85. 85 would be, satisfactory enough, I think. Although the more I look at this, the more potential I see for even more than that, but I'm not going to get greedy. Just going to go ahead and see what I can do to unwind and get out. So we can get a total massive flush. Breakthrough 27. Yeah. 80 actually seems to be like the magic number there. I'm going to get a reverse right on that EMA. If we can get a breakdown though, I think we should be able to get 80. We should. I know I'm wasting a little bit of time here. We need to get into discussing what's happening in the market today. That's the one thing about pre-market trading. It can really distract you from, forming your game plan on what you're going to do on the day. Let's shoot for 80. Come on. See if we can get 80. There we go. And I'll tell you what, if this pushes through 27, we're going to be sitting in a good spot. Having a little bit of a difficult time getting there though. But I think we could. I really think we could get a quick flush through. If we can break down, 80 should not be difficult. I mean, even 60s on the 5-minute chart, getting down in the 60s towards that 9 EMA should not be difficult. This is the part where I'm always inclined to move it down even further because, obviously if we get the break, that'll be significant. I'll put it at 85. If it comes down and it doesn't suck through my order at 80, I'll take it. And actually what I'll do is I'll put it down to 75 because I think it should really tank at that point. And if it doesn't, I'll take it at 85. Should really get a test down to 75 if it breaks 85. There we go. And all right, I got to take it. So I took it there, stuck to my plan. And I've basically paid for my trades today. Actually, I did locate some shorts on the TVIX. So it was only like I located for, 400. So locate, it was how much? 520. Yeah. So I'm break even right now on the day. I've paid for trade. Well, technically most of that was added liquidity. So I might even be up $2 or $3 on the day. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I already have a plan with the TVIX. mRNA, I am going to watch. I'm interested. This is a trend line that I had drawn yesterday. And I had been looking for a bounce to short it, and it actually broke up through. If I had been paying attention at the time, that would have been a great place to go long right there. You can see, I don't know, let's see. Once it broke up and confirmed that and continued to move up, that would have been a great place to get in for a long, maybe just 400 or 500 shares, and could have had a good $200-$300 move with scale outs along the way. So right now this is interesting to me because it's easy to short, and I don't know how it is with everybody's broker, but don't have to locate shorts. It's kind of, it's been crushing it, pushing up. It's nearing all-time highs. It would just be interesting to see if this actually does get a rejection here, because it's tested it once, it's tested it twice. I'm assuming this is a test and not like one of those flash order things or whatever. And if it can't really break past all this and starts making its way down, I would be interested. So mRNA is on watch for me. If it does break out, I'll look for a return to established support at pre-market highs, and if it looks like it's holding, I might go for a long. TVIX. Talked about TVIX yesterday, and got a really good trade on TVIX. Took a very small share size on it, and we're trading the SPY. We're basically trading the SPY. And so, if you look at the SPY right now, actually, I'll use this other chart. If we look at the SPY, so I think we're due. I think we're due for some kind of significant pullback. This is the one time where I will bring in the RSI, the relative strength index. Let's see here. So, and if you look at the relative strength index on the daily, it's not as high, but check this out. Let's look at the hourly, or no, wait, I think it's the 4 hour. I'm not going to be able to get a read on that here. But anyway, it's not completely oversold, but it has dipped significantly enough to where, typically when it hits these levels, when it hits down close to these levels, you can see there's typically a V formation recovery. Okay, and so I would almost be expecting a very possible V formation recovery. Now, what I don't want to see is if this and let me remove the RSI. I don't like to keep it up there. So if this breaks through and can hold over the 100-day moving average, that'll be big, and I think we could at least make our way up to test the previous area of support, which could become resistance at that point. So I'm going to be watching the SPY, and if it looks like it's making a recovery, I'm going to go short on TVIX. So as we were discussing yesterday, TVIX basically does the opposite of the SPY. It's kind of the measurement of fear in the markets. And let me clarify a couple things about that. First of all, look, the TVIX is not it's not a perfect inverse of the SPY. Okay, it's not perfect. It does not, it's not like every single time the SPY is going down, the TVIX is going up. It's not like that. But in high volatility days, like what we saw yesterday with the SPY just tanking like that, these are the days that you want to get in on the TVIX. And the TVIX is really kind of basically a story of or a mirror of the VIX, which VIX is really what is measuring fear in the markets. So the TVIX, though, is, it's basically a mirror of that. But again, it's not a perfect inverse. And I don't trade TVIX on days like this. I don't trade TVIX in any days like this. I only trade TVIX if I'm seeing stuff like this, okay, or maybe even stuff like this back here, and maybe even this. There might have been some good TVIX plays in there, but TVIX is what I'm watching today, and I've already got 400 shares short. I don't plan on taking 400 shares short. You really don't need to do that with this kind of stock. It's very spready, and I don't want to sit through pullbacks on stuff like that. But I have 400 shares to add into if it's moving in my favor, or even to average into. Even if we have a pullback, but it looks like on the SPY that the SPY is going to continue making a good strong move up, then I may add into the TVIX. So I'm probably going to only start with 100 shares, maybe even 50. But I've got 400 there to use. If I'm able to build a position and make a good move on it, I'll do it. If not, I won't. So I'm not going to try to force anything here. Let's see. Tesla is another one that I'm kind of looking at. I drew this line here on the daily. So this has been a steady upward trend, and even the day prior we closed right at that trend. But today we're butting up against it, and it's very possible we could make a quick move down. So I might even just take, even if I took 20 shares on Tesla, or even if I just took 10 shares, it's very possible that I could get a $200 to $300 move with even just 10 shares. So, and I might start building a position, taking 10 shares at a time, and looking for a drop. So, so there's that. So I actually probably want to move that up a little bit more just to see. Put that under mRNA. LK might also be looking a little interesting today, in AMD. because AMD is, they're pretty much, it's pretty much going to do what Daddy Spy does. So follows Daddy Spy around. Anything Daddy Spy does, AMD does. I don't know if you guys were in here the other day, you hear me talk about Daddy Spy, but it's like all these stocks. You got all these stocks that follow Daddy Spy around. So anyway, let's see here. WB is a good one to look at. SDC. Oops. SDC. Okay. Well, you got to locate shorts for that. I don't know if I care to do that. But we could make a recovery. But I don't know. I'm not too interested with SDC. I may be missing a good move there, but especially if the SPY turns around. WB. See what's going on with that. This actually might be good for a short. 77% short float. I'm glad I found you. Their earnings top, but Weibo parent tumbles. What, they have like a parent company or something? China Social Stock dives. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. Weibo core to host earnings call. Okay, we're coming up against some support here, or against some, I should say, resistance. Sorry, 41.45, and then next move up. I think I would go ahead and be good to jump in with 100 shares here. With a short float like that, I honestly don't see why not. Although WB has, let's see. Okay, so it's 120 million share float. I don't know. I'm gonna, let's see here. Let's look at the daily chart, roll this out. I mean, if this starts, I mean, we're looking at a good potential $5-6 move. What's this level right here? 40.12. If it breaks back down through 40, which is basically the 40 area. If it breaks back down through the 40 area, we could be looking at a solid move. I think it's worth starting to scale into. So I'm going to go ahead and get short 100 shares there, and we'll just see what happens at the bell. If it continues to move up, I will add to my position, but at some point, obviously, I'll have to get out. So you can always, there's always the potential of short squeeze. You could have a lot of investors coming back in here today, but just the way that the market is right now, I don't see that as too great of possibilities. But if this started pressing back up through the $42 mark and was making just clear momentum up that way, I mean, I would probably look to add first at probably 41.80. And then maybe 42.38. I would add two more 100 share lots. But then if it continued to push, I would have to get out. So so the bell hasn't even rung yet, and we already just had a massive push all the way up. So anyway, just gonna watch it. Where was the first ad? Let me see. 41.80. Yeah. So I'm at 40.80, so I might even let this play out to 42. $42.30. We'll go another 100 shares short there. So guys, we're just going to take our time with it today. Not going to rush too much of this stuff. We've also got SLS, APT, looks like a good watch. So let's see, SLS, what are we looking at here? I don't know about that. I don't really have time to check the news on it either. APT. Ooh, did not mean to add that to my list, but yeah, I'm not interested. Okay, so we're going to be watching the SPY. We're going to be watching WB and mRNA. So see if we get squeezed out of this or not. Gonna be patient, gonna let it come to me. Okay, TVIX. TVIX looks like it's possibly tanking 7101. Might get a quick scalp on this. Actually, I'm going to let this play out a little bit. mRNA. Giant failure there on mRNA. It's great, but we'll see if it holds support. Could get a massive short squeeze on mRNA today. See what the SPY is doing. All right. Guys, if people are commenting in the chat right now, just so you know, I don't have the chat in front of me, so I'm just going to try to focus on these trades for right now, but I'll start paying attention here in a little bit. Okay, WB shot back up. So WB is holding. It's pretty whippy. Okay, I've got another order out at 42.30. Okay, and I'm in 200 shares at 41.55. We do have a heavy short float interest on this, so I'm going to try to hold to that and see if we can keep below these areas of what could be considered strong resistance here. It's making a push, but I don't know if this is just a temporary short squeeze. It's up at 43, so I'm obviously getting a little nervous with that, but okay. This has turned into a disaster. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to try to be patient here. I'm going to try to be patient. This is going to take a lot, guys. This is going to take a lot. You know, I'm still trying to keep in mind, you know, there's a heavy short float on this today. So this could just be just some kind of massive short squeeze right now. And we still could end up turning back down today. So sorry guys, I got to focus on this trade right now. So I think if we can make it all the way back down, that would be tremendous. We get the breakdown through 42. We'll see. $41.55. This has made a very strong move. Very strong move up. And this is sometimes the bad thing about trading the market open, is you can end up having to suffer through really whippy moves like this. I can't see this pushing up too far over this, guys, but if it does, I mean, I'm gonna have to get out. So what I might do is put a stop at 44.25 for 200 shares. I think that would be it. Yeah, that's the previous day's high. It's the previous day's high. Let's see if it ramped up there. Although I can see it just squeezing a ton of people out and then tanking, but this is the predicament. This is the predicament. Okay. It's making a solid move up, guys. Okay. Getting absolutely hammered on WB. Okay. Only reason I'm still holding right now is we are butting up against that 200 day right here on the daily. And the SPY is butting up against the 100. Crushing up through it. This just keeps squeezing. I feel like this. I feel like we've got to be in a massive short squeeze right now. I mean, we've got to be. Okay. I'm going to take a $420 loss on those first 100 shares. TVIX is getting murdered, by the way. By the way, if you guys hear a screaming baby, that's my son. He has not been feeling well this week. He is sick. I feel so bad for the little guy. This could be the move we were looking for here, unless it pops up. I'll tell you what. This has got to be nothing but a massive short squeeze. It's got to be. And I would be looking to add to my position at the break of 44.79. If this looks like it can roll over. Still making strong moves. See if we can get a fail here. So I'm going to get in with a 43.76 average, another 200 shares. We're going to try to get out those last break even. If it breaks back over here, I'm going to be out for good. 45.88. There we go. Yeah, we need to look for a break on the 5 minute 44.79. I'd like to add there. Missed the ad. It's okay. May just be forming a bull flag here. See how it cracked below 44.76, but it's holding? That's a little concerning, but I would love to see it just tank from that point, come all the way down, and crush through all these levels. That would be the most ideal scenario. I'd probably take 100 off at the break of 44. I'm wondering if it's tracking with the SPY though. It's facing a lot of support here. Let's see. $44.20. So if it breaks 44.20, I think it could head to VWAP and 43.76. Yeah, that's where my average is. So I'd be willing to take. I mean, just in case there's a VWAP bounce. Although with the short, again, I got to think about it with the short float that's involved with this. But it does kind of look like it's mirroring the S&P 500. So I don't know if the S&P 500 has a VWAP bounce, this will probably have a VWAP bounce. So I think the safest thing to do is I don't want to, but get off those other 100 shares at 43.76. If we get a crack through the VWAP and a move all the way down here, then I'll just hold on to those other 100 shares as long as I possibly can. Yeah, it seems like it's pretty much doing what the SPY's doing. It'll be significant if it can close below the 20 moving average on the 1 minute. but it looks like it's getting a bounce on the 9 EMA on the 2 minute. Would love to see a continued sell off. Totally should have added up here, but I was getting nervous, guys. Right now it's just about controlling the loss. If SPY breaks VWAP, I may give this a chance to break VWAP and hold. Without taking the shares. I'm watching the SPY. Looks like the SPY is remaining strong for the time being. The sell-off is not that great compared to the buy-up. Not on the 2 minute anyway. Let's look at the 5. So I'd want to crack below 44.22. Okay. So this could be big. Man, it's struggling to make that sell-off. So again, I'll just keep my order there just in case. Would love to see a flush down through all of this, but it's not looking that great, guys. Really want to see the bears step in and push this down. SPY's breaking through VWAP. If SPY can hold below VWAP, that would be significant. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take I'll take some shares off at 44.03 if it can get back down there. Let me look at the 2 minute. Let me look at the 1 minute. Well, the 1 minute closed below the 20, so I'll get it at the break of, well, can we break? Can we hold? Here we go. Breaks 43.90. Okay, SPY's being bought up at VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and get out there just in case. $45.22 is my average. This could be a total VWAP bounce. Watching the SPY on the 5 minute. I'd like to see it close below VWAP. Doesn't look like it's going to yet. So depending what happens here, I may add to my position. Let's look at SDC, by the way. See what's happening there. APT, mRNA. Okay, so mRNA had a rejection. Had that rejection we were talking about, so kind of wish I'd gotten in on that. I'll wait for a pullback. It's breaking the 15 minute, but this could be whippy. So I'm gonna be very, very, very cautious with this stock right now. I'm not just going to jump in on anything here. Would love to get a flush down on WB. And I would even take orders at the break of 43.90. I would average in again. Let's see. So 43.90. Stop. Sell 100. and try to ride that down as far as I possibly could. Right now it's pretty much about, damage control. So this will be interesting because I'm in the 200 shares at 44.51 average. We want to see just a continued move to the downside, and we want to see this close on the 15-minute. And I think we could hold to 42.51 and make back most of our profit, but just in case, we've got the 9 EMA here, so I'd even consider taking off 43.41, taking off the first 100. Unless we could get a break through that, maybe taking off 50 there, 43.41. Take off 50, yeah, let the other 150 ride. Sell-off volume is dying down, which is really the only thing I'm concerned about right now. Again, I really want to end the 5-minute and the 15-minute under VWAP. So if it cannot maintain below VWAP at the closes of the 5 and the 15-minute, I will probably consider getting out. If it can, then I'm not going to worry about the 9 EMA because I think it could come down even further based on some of the other things I was looking at. So I would take the first 50 shares at 43.11 in that case. So 43.11, then another 50 shares at 42.71, yeah. So we got about 2 more minutes to see what we can do with this, guys. Yeah, 42.71 should be good, and then I'll see how far the other 100 can go. Almost tempted to add in again here at the break of 43.51, but just with the kind of damage I've taken on this stock so far, I don't feel good about it. Seems like it's whippy. Seems like, it's possible we could be loading up for another short squeeze. The SPY is weak, but right now at this point, I've just got to be patient. Got to be patient and see if we can get this to play out. I'd love to break 43.27. I think that would be clutch, and I think we could make it down to 43.11 pretty quickly after that. Now, as slow as this is moving, I mean, it's a very hesitant stock, and I don't understand that. But again, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. It can move as slow as it wants as long as it closes below that VWAP on the 5-minute and the 15-minute. And we have about 30 seconds to find out. So if it can do that, great. If not, I'll probably just get out the full 200 shares. At the break of 44. $43.99 really, because it's kind of spready. So that's good news. That's very good news, guys. So might even move my stop to the, no, I'd keep it at 43.99. There we go. That's significant. Let's break that 9 EMA. SPY's coming down, still weak. See if we can break 43.27, make a really quick move down to 43.11. I'll tell you what. This stock really is trying to give us a hard time here. Really trying to give us a hard time. I don't want to get faked out though. It could just be a temporary VWAP fake out. I want to see significant momentum to the downside. I want to see it break 43.27. And then I want to see it get to 42.71. Come on. Look at this. There's probably a lot of people nervous right now because of all this junk. I mean, I know that made me pretty nervous. $43.79, so breaks 81, I'll get out. Really want to see a tank down to the downside here. There we go. Come on, break 41, break 27. Although again, I'm not going to expect anything extravagant, even if it breaks 27. I'm going to stop there. 43.41. 79, so let's see if we've produced another 5 minute at 79. So that's where I'll stop. Buy stop at 79. Maybe even 76. Buy stop 77. We'll do that. Come on, guys. Tank. Yeah, I may even hold it. If it breaks this 9 EMA, I may even hold it for the break of I mean, it looks like this looks like it wants to curl around. This is perfect for a curl around. But if it breaks, we're going to break hard. So I don't even know if I want to take that first 50 shares at 11. I think I can take it at the test of, at the break of 43. So I would probably take it off there. Okay, I'll put them out. Boy, this is slow moving. It's like pulling teeth. Come on, break 20, break 20. Come on, break 20. Okay, it broke. We should be making a significant move to the downside here. Wait a minute. Saying that it took, where did it take? Oh, I put in a stop order. What is my problem? Guys, just ignore that junk. That's all that is junk. honestly. $150 at, I can't believe I did that. $43.18. This stock is going nowhere fast. Nowhere fast. Stop by the last 150 there. $159. We'll get out and just call it at that moment. mRNA. Looks like this could be a VWAP projection on mRNA. But it also looks like it may have found support. Of course, if it breaks that support at 27.50, that would be clutch. Wow, look at that. mRNA just seems like it's behaving extremely irrational right now. Or irrationally. Okay, guys, we're down to a 403 loss on the day. Not sure what the SPY is going to do. Don't think I'm confident enough to take any kind of long position on the TVIX. Just so I'll pull the SPY up real quick. I mean, could be a pullback. Let's look at volume. Volume's somewhat dying off. I mean, the thing is wanted to see a very significant bounce here. And we're not seeing that. Which means that we could be falling into further bearish territory. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. So WB is finding support in this general area, which completely makes sense. I would be prone to take this as a VWAP rejection. SPY's weak. So let's see further run down to 42-ish, I think. See if there's any trend lines forming here. Nah. It's rejection after rejection after rejection. So I'm going to go ahead and go short another 100 shares at 43.29. I'm going to give this another stab. See if we can break 43.18 and see if we're working off of a VWAP rejection here. And if we're not, then I'll take the loss. I'll take the loss. Matter of fact, I want to start watching some other stocks. So I'm gonna see. SPY's getting bought back up. I wonder if, let's see here. I would love to know the correlation. That's pretty bearish. Breaking on both the hourly and the 30-minute. Closing below VWAP. So, really does look like it's pushing with the SPY. See what's happening on the 5-minute. Yeah, the SPY's pushing up. Okay. Well, it looks like it's got a shot at breaking above VWAP. Yeah. Let's see if this is going to be a VWAP close on the 5 or a VWAP rejection on the 5. That'll make a huge difference. SPY's breaking up through the VWAP. So I don't know if this is just following suit. But this will be huge if it closes above VWAP on the 5 and the 15. And I'll go ahead and get out if it does. We've got about 10 seconds to find out. Okay. Very hard to tell. Okay. It looks like that was a, yeah, close above. See if it's a trend line though. Almost want to see if I can just add so that I can get out break even. SPY's moving, pushing over that 100-day. Guys, I'm trading WB with the SPY in mind. Got the SPY in mind. And I'm watching the SPY, and let's see, it's looking strong, but it's also looking like it could be be forming a downward trend on the 5. I'm just kind of speculating right now, but WB is so incredibly short biased right now. I just don't know if this VWAP breakout is for real. Very light volume. It's just giving me a little more confidence to hold on to it. I mean, I still ultimately may have to take a loss on all this, guys, but maybe a 40. Maybe I might be able to get away with a $40 loss. It's got to break 77. It's got to break 77 for me to feel like I might be able to hold on to this or take a lesser loss. What I might do is go ahead and offset. Well, can I get a break of 80? Buy 50 shares back there. Okay. Let's just see what happens with the rest of this. So the SPY, so now I'm seeing a divergence with the SPY and WB, because the SPY is looking like it's strong, but WB is continuing to roll over and break down, and it would be very interesting to see if we close on this 5 minute below the VWAP. Then the next thing we want to do is break this moving average and break these levels. And I would go short again if it did that. But these are a lot of ifs. There's a lot of ifs that have to happen here. So, okay, closed above VWAP. SPY's continuing to push. So I don't know, guys. I think I'll give it a shot. The only reason I'm continuing to give this a shot is because of how much of a short float there is on this stock. I mean, that's really the only reason. I mean, that's something that you can't ignore. That's something you can't take into, you can't not take into consideration. Now, I told you yesterday, typically when you have anything over a 50% stock or 50% short float, the likelihood of a short squeeze is less. But there's a couple things to that. Number one, there's a key to that. First key would be it's got to be a low or a higher float stock. Now, this one is saying, I'm seeing on FinViz that that WB is a 17 million share float. So that's throwing me off a little bit. That would totally explain how this happened, because the smaller the float, the easier short squeezes can occur. But on the Gab scanner this morning, it's showing as a 120.9 million share float. So I don't, and that's what I was looking at. So thinking about this being a 17 million share float, I definitely would have spaced out those add-ins. I don't think I would have added. As you can see here, I came in at 40.80. I waited to 42.30. That was legit, but maybe I should have gone with lower, like 50 shares, 50 shares. And I hate I bought at 45, but guys, the market, in my opinion, too, by the way, and this is just kind of a side note, market seems weak. It just seems weak. So I don't know. Just gonna kind of let some of this stuff go for now. Just see what happens here. Yeah, this is failing again. SPY may be rolling over. It's not a strong bounce. It's just not. It's the SPY here. It's butt up right against that 100-day. If you look at the 15-minute, I mean, there was no just huge massive buy up. Volume's dying off. Let's look at the 5-minute. We could be forming a downward trend line here. If we see a break of all this, I think we're moving down. Make sure that yeah, I think we're moving down. If we see a break up through that trend line, then the story's going to change. So mostly sell volume on the longer time frames. So that kind of changes the story a little bit, but I don't know. I can't figure it out quite yet what the story is here. WB showing strength. That's not really it's not really indicating that it looks like it's holding VWAP. Looks like it's holding VWAP, but it could change on the 15-minute real quick. So I'm gonna give it a chance. Could be a bear flag, could be a bear trap. So I'm already in it though. Okay, just kind of move that out of the way for now. We'd want to see a break of 43.71. And a close at the 5-minute. All right, let me pull up, see if anybody's been in the chat today. Hey, what's up, Notre Dame? What up, Peeves? Tricky day for a third run, yeah. Hoping that it's a downward consolidation, yeah. Well, darn, I was expecting today to be another sell-off day. Yeah, and it still might be. Sorry, man. Sorry for just kind of being out of the chat this whole time. It might be um, it might be a later day sell off. We may just have to see SPY kind of teeter around here at these levels and then see what kind of direction it wants to take. I mean, right now, I'm telling you, it's right up against that 100-day moving average on the daily. It's starting to break trend. Hold on a second. Starting to break trend. Okay. If it can hold above that trend line and close out there, then we'll probably see that as a little bit more of a bullish sign. WB is tricky. I would love to see just a complete collapse of this back down to these levels down here, down to 40. I would add for that and just kind of seek to make back what I lost on the day. I honestly feel like Noter says, I honestly feel it's a false breakout. I'm expecting more bad news considering yesterday's CDC statements that had a part in the sell-off. Yeah, I think just, even with the sentiment concerning the manufacturing industry right now, I think there's more room for a sell-off as well. So, okay. It's about to close below that trend line on the 5 minute, by the way. Volume has majorly died off on WB. Okay. I might even go 100 on this. Just to bring my average far enough up. Yeah, I'm gonna leave an order for another 100 shares there. So, Note, are you still there? Okay, I got 100 at 43.65. I'll take another 100. I'd put it at 71, but I'll take it at the break of 43.74. Stop, sell there. Really want to see this get crushed here. But the SPY is starting to find some strength, guys. So I'm here multitasking. I hear you, man. I hear you. Good job. You're probably better at that than I am. I am not a good multitasker. That's why I was absent on the chat earlier. Although trading, I think probably for anybody, probably hard to multitask for a lot of people who are trading. Requires a ton of. You weren't expecting SPY to rally today. Yeah, I had mixed feelings about it coming into the market. I felt like we definitely could get, a buyback. But I think everybody was a little nervous coming in. I don't think anybody really knew what was going to happen. It's hard to tell either way. I mean, it really is. If we don't get a breakdown of this soon, I'm going to have to get out because this looks like it could be rolling around, and I don't want to hold it. Like, I want to see a really solid sell-off on this. I want to see a really solid sell-off because right now it's just making higher lows. Hasn't really made any higher highs. It did back here, kind of. But the SPY is strong, and so... Yeah, there is a lot of uncertainty, Noter. There's a lot of uncertainty. Here's why I felt like there would be a buyback, though. Hold on. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with this. Last thing I want to do is get caught in another short squeeze. Already down on the day. Giving back some of yesterday's profits. If we can break this low, we should be able to make a move to the downside. Man, this just does not want to sell off. I don't understand that. You've got a, I mean, really, this is one of those anomalies we were talking about the other day. You got a 77% short float interest. But here's the thing. There's a huge difference. This is why I get it bothers me sometimes, like the differences between some of these different sites. You've got FinViz telling you that this is a 17 million share float, or that there's 17 million shares. There's 227 million outstanding, but they're saying 17 million shares available to the market. But then you've got the gap scanner, the Trade Ideas gap scanner, that is showing it's 129 million. So the Trade Ideas is saying 129 million. Finviz is saying there's a max of 229, but there's only 17 on the market. I mean, I don't. That changes the whole story. You don't sit here and short. You don't, or you have to be extremely cautious when there's a high short float interest, but low volume shares for short on the market. According to the gap scanner, it looked like in other words, what I was seeing on the gap scanner made it. Hold on, somebody keeps texting me. Let me just get out of here. In other words, according to what I was seeing on the gap scanner, it told me a whole different story than what Finviz is telling me. So this right here looks like Finviz is more accurate on the assessment, which raises major cause for concern. So I could see how all this action would be going on right here. And especially all of this out the gate. I mean, what a massive short squeeze. What a massive short squeeze. So, I don't know. Noter, I saw you commented. I hadn't read it yet. I'm watching this. I just don't want to get squeezed out. So if this comes up above 12, I probably just need to get out. And I wonder if this is forming the... So I don't know if this is going to be just like a cup and handle, bear trap. I'll say if it comes above 44.12, I'll just go ahead and get out. So we'll say 44.15. Stop buy. 44.15. 44.30. Maybe I could set it for the high of that candle. So here we go. We're getting some resolution here. I'm a little nervous though. I don't think I want to take it anymore at 74. I mean, here's the thing. If this is going to crash, it's going to crash. And if it comes down below all of this, I can hold these shares down to 41. And, try to make another a $200 move. I mean, it's not ideal. Okay, that was a close below VWAP. That was a close below VWAP. I want to see it on the 15-minute now. The break would be 71 on the 15-minute. Okay. All right. Okay, see, this is just toying around here. Ugh. Okay, Noter, let's see, wasn't expecting the SPY to rally today. Oh, I still need to get to my assessment on that and what my thoughts were concerning the SPY today, but let's see. Long biased. You'd be waiting for a break of that high, but it would be neutral still on the outcome of that price action, but based on the current pattern, I would be short biased in the long term. Are you talking about with WB? Maybe an absolute slow grind. Why is there a difference? Low floaters are hard to ride, so influential. Yeah. I mean, low floaters can just be more heavily manipulated by market makers. People with a lot of money. And the thing is that usually will happen with lighter volume. Now, once there's been heavy volume and the shares have been passed around like WB, okay, cool, yeah. And the shares have been passed around like 50 times to everybody, I think it becomes a little bit more difficult at that point. But I don't know. There's still some mystery to that stuff. Just like anything in the stock market, I mean, there's always going to be a little bit of mystery just with, you know, which is why the stock market can behave so irrationally sometimes. And even the most professional seasoned traders can't explain everything that happens. I mean, it's, but you know as well as I know, I mean, I can tell just from, interacting with you in the last day or so that you know as well as I know that us as day traders, it's not so much where about us being able to predict exactly what's going to happen in the market. It's just about having a plan and sticking to it. Oh, you've been burnt by WB before. Okay, so okay, well, maybe you've got a little more experience with this stock than I do. Every time it looks like it's going to break, it gets bought right back up. You know, but I want to hold on to the shares because here it could be one of those things where it does this junk for a while and then just crashes. And so I would want to be in there for that. I'm willing to hold on to it as long as it takes. So um, mRNA. I don't see any confirming patterns forming here. Tesla, I think it's pretty much. I mean, here's the thing with Tesla. I drew this trend line. We've broken it, and we obviously weren't able to get above it. We went to 805. I mean, exactly right there at 8 at the trend line, and came down. So in my mind, if the SPY eventually does roll over today, which I do think there's a chance of that happening, I think Tesla could roll over and maybe even test down to 735. So if you think about it, even going in with just 10, 20 shares here could produce a significant move. Even if all it did was come down and test these levels here, like double bottom at 766. With 10 shares, that's about $300 from this point. But so I might be willing to average into that. And by the way, here's what I was showing you guys. So we're actually starting to make moves up to 320. I think it's possible that we test 320. You can see that trend line breakout was very significant for the SPY. But here's what it's looking like on the daily. So we've broke back through the 100. It just may be a slow grind all the way up to 320 today. Or we may come up to 320 and have a pretty massive rejection. So let's see. On the level 2, that 1K seller keeps teasing at 44, goes away and comes back. Let's see. What here on you've got to be talking about WB, yeah. Yeah, I like to look on the level 2 oftentimes when dealing with stocks like this, just because sometimes you'll see a huge bid sitting way down here, and that typically can be a bearish sign, and you'll oftentimes get a pretty significant sell-off when that happens. And then same thing with the ask. I mean, if you see people up here on the ask, way up here at like 44.50 or 45.36, excuse me, with a lot of with a heavy share size waiting to get in, that can typically be a bullish sign. But I don't see anything here. I'm not reading anything. Obviously, you saw something that I didn't. With a constant flashing here, I guess I wasn't looking for it. A lot of times, and there's reasons for that. A lot of times, I really do get caught up in the chart pattern itself, because at the end of the day, I mean, we're trading patterns. We are trading patterns, and so, level 2 is definitely important. It's definitely significant. And I think I think there are varying there are different variables and things that can occur on level 2 that can really help you to understand where the stock price is actually going to go. But sometimes I find that, especially if it's moving quickly, it can sometimes be a little more confusing than not. And so I hold my confidence in the chart patterns, and I just try to stand on that as best as possible. Kind of like up here, I said, you know what? I'm just going to set my stop here. If it breaks this pattern, I'm going to go ahead and get out. And the same thing here, I'm looking. If it breaks this pattern, and of course I'm tracking with that EMA a little bit. But yeah, if it breaks this pattern, and here on the 15 minutes, if it breaks down through all this, I think we could make a significant move back down to these levels here, and maybe even more. But I don't know. I mean, I am still holding on to the fact that we are in a place where I'm still holding on to the fact that they're 77% short float. I mean, you can't ignore that. You cannot ignore that. Now, if it's only 17 million share float on the market, then you can ignore that to some degree. We'll just be looking at short squeeze after short squeeze after short squeeze. Now, if it's true that we're trading with 129 million shares, I think we could gradually get just a gradual breakdown all through the day back down to the 40 levels. So Noter says it's gone now when it was floating around there. Yeah, no, I believe you, man. I'm sure there was something flashing up there. I mean, and whether that's just algorithmic trading bots, or you've got somebody who's just a market maker trying to manipulate the the bid or the ask or whatever. But look at this. So, it's like I said, short squeeze after short squeeze. You have people that are starting to go short here thinking that, in anticipation of the break. Well, I mean, if there's only 17 million shares available on the market, it'd be easy to, for some buyers to come in and squeeze them out. Next thing you know, break a VWAP, and then all those short sellers are buying themselves out. And then market makers are taking profit up here. It's a game, for sure. It's an evil, evil game. And it's not fun. It's not fun. We got to break a VWAP on mRNA. So we're looking at a break of 2805. Look at that on mRNA. Look at that. Man, some people are getting crushed. But this may be nothing. I mean, it closed on the 5-minute. I would be looking for a close below VWAP on the 5-minute. Look at the overall pattern on mRNA. It definitely has room to come down. Definitely has room to come down a couple bucks. I'm going to go ahead and take that off from yesterday. Yeah, I think it definitely has room to come down a couple bucks from here. But again, I don't know if I want to get in with it opening back up on the VWAP. We would have to break these trend lines here on the 15 minute. Let's look at the 30 minute. So the hourly closed below VWAP 30. I would look for a close and a break of 28. Might be safe to get in with a couple hundred shares here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will get out at the break of 28.79. Actually, there's resistance here, so I'd probably get out break of, let's see, yeah, 28.74 maybe. Put a stop out there. 28.76, break of 75, yeah. Stop by. So I'm going ahead and taking 200 shares here, just in case that we are actually forming a, oops. And I'll add to my position at the break of 28.12, maybe even, let's see, yeah, 28.12. I'll add another 200 to my position down there. I'll do it at the anticipation of the break. Stop, sell. See, look, we've got 100 down here at 27.88, 80 down here. This looks like we could get a good sell-off here in a little bit. And it doesn't always happen immediately, obviously, as you know. We could get a bounce. It could get me out and then eventually start coming down. But the fact that it's staying there, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. So I'll go another 200 shares short at 28.14. But I do, again, I want to see a close below the VWAP on the 30 and the 15. 28.05 is actually the break. I should wait for 28.05 actually. I'll get it at the break of 28.09. So on the 5 minute, it's holding. So I'll probably move my stop down to 70. 28.70. Okay, rather than 76, stop buy. Because if it goes above this candle, I'll probably want to get out. Even though it could end up rejecting up here. We've been making nothing but 5 minute lows. So if it starts breaking this high, this 5 minute high, I want to get out. Even probably 69. Stop by 69. So we've got 5 more minutes to see what's going to happen with all this. I would love to see mRNA get the breakdown and start moving down to 26. I'd love to see the break of 28.31, 28.12. Still going back and forth with all of this. I really feel like, but this will just be greater confirmation. 28.05, yeah, on the 15 minute, break the 15 minute, just much greater confirmation. So we still have 100 down there at 27.88. It's not moving. I mean, if we can get a really significant push down, we will close below VWAP on the 30, and we will break the previous low of 28.05. But it is very choppy. Let me see what's going on with mRNA. Let me look at the technicals on this, or the fundamentals on this. It's a heavy share float. Okay. Come on, we want to see that close. Let's get that close. Break that EMA. Although this is what makes me nervous here. It breaks the EMA and comes all the way back up. It broke here, came all the way back up, even breaking the, well, let's see. Yeah, this one broke the previous 15-minute. We want to see a close below that 9 EMA. Maybe I ought to look for that before I add. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to wait for the actual close below the 9 EMA because we have not had a close yet, except for back in pre-market. This has got to break through these levels. There we go. There we go. There may be a retest of VWAP, but I need to start seeing a close here. We could test 26.55 today. That would be a significant move to the downside. Okay. If it starts coming back around, I'm going to get out with a little bit of a profit and just see what happens from there. Because, like I said, I mean, we've seen too much of this junk. We've seen way too much of it. We need to get that close of the 9 EMA on the 5-minute. We need to finally get a close below that. And I would really like to get a close below the low of this 15-minute. And then the third confirmation is a close below VWAP on the 30-minute. And then the final confirmation will be breaking through these trend lines. So this is where I'm going to have to play this strategically and look for places to add. But, you know, I'm doing my best to stick to these if-then statements. So, all right, it did not close. Did not close. So if we start getting a run up, I might take at least some of the profit off. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Now it's sitting on that trend line. As you can see, sitting on that trend line. This is what it does. mRNA loves to do this junk. Let's see. Can we get a move down? We've still got this 100 here, which is what, you know, keeps me hopeful. There we go. That's good. It's a good solid move. There we go. Good solid move. Now that order disappeared, but we still have some pretty good orders, pretty solid orders down there. Let's see. Okay, we're breaking through trend lines. I want to see a break of this trend line. May go ahead and take a little bit of profit there. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take a little profit off there. So now I'm going to consider adding at some point. I'll look for a good place to add, but I'm going to wait. We're gradually digging ourselves out of the ditch, guys. I mean, even if I'm down a couple $100 today, I'm fine. That one from earlier was quite the scare, and I'm not in it. I'm just not in it. So, let's see. Okay, back in the chat right now. Notre Dame. Hard to tell what it's going to be. Have to wait for volume to play out. Yep. I hate these plays. It needs so much patience. I know, you're right. Requires tons of patience. Tons of patience with this junk. Evil but fun game. A game I'll never beat. But have fun playing. You'll beat it, man. You'll beat the boss. You'll break through all the levels. You'll overcome it, man. It's gosh, it's like one of those it's like one of those almost like one of those never-ending role-playing games, or one of those role-playing games that you could play 5 times over and you know track a different storyline each time. It's just no, actually, that's a poor analogy. That's a poor analogy because you can conquer that junk probably even easier than you can conquer this junk right here. Honestly, I mean, in my opinion, this is like the hardest chess game you've ever played. I always tell people it's almost like playing chess against the computer. Like I wouldn't even know how to do that junk. I've tried it before and failed miserably. I mean, absolutely miserably. Like I am not a good chess player. Like I'd make one move. It's like I just one move, and the game beat me. So it is like playing chess against the computer. Let's see. That does look like it's shifting. Yep. 2874. Yep. A lot of selling pressure right now in your favor. Yep. Kind of curious if it's going to do a little pullback on the next candle. The bids are getting chewed up. Good strength in that move. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Noter, man. I know I'm coming in way late to these comments. I'll try to be a little more mindful. But if you move here to the 30-minute, you know, this, I think, I hate when this does this. I think this is a good, solid move. I think we can get a good, solid move. Like I said, down to these levels, the 26 levels, 26 something, 2650. There's a lot of consolidation here that I think we would butt up against. But again, we still have to break. We have to break this trend line here on the 15-minute anyway. I would like to see a close below that trend line on the 15-minute. And you know, right now it's just kind of a game of cat and mouse with mRNA. I would like to, let's see. If we build this pivot right here, okay, I would like to find a good place to add back in. Okay, and this actually right here, this might be it, but there's some resistance up here at 2812, 2807, so I might even say 2808. I think I'd be fine with averaging in at 2808. So if it can pick it up, I'll take it. There we go. So there we go. So it's coming back up. Now this could be a trend bounce, and obviously if that's the case, then it's kind of going to be like dope, you know. But if not, if we continue to get a break through this trend line and a move down to the 26s, then we just picked up another 100 shares with a 28.31 average. So go back to WB. I'll tell you what, if this breaks, this should be significant. I am going to take another 100 shares at the break of 43. Where was it? 43.20. Even 21 for the anticipation of that break. Maybe even 22. Stop. Sell 100. We're going to average in and hopefully get a good strong move down to these areas down here. Okay, and by the way, we have a new trend line forming here. Formed a new pivot point. So I caught it here on the 2-minute. So, well, I'll leave that. I'll leave this up here. I'll leave this up here, but here's the other one I'm looking at. Looking at this now. And it lines right up perfectly with VWAP. So if this breaks through all of these moving averages, which, mind you, it's the 2-minute, really, if it breaks through the trend line in VWAP, I'll look to get out. I really want to see a continuation down here. So, and it's got, mind you, it's got to close above all this, by the way, for me to get out. It's got to close above it all. Yeah, Notre Dame. This is like this is the hardest video game you've ever played in your life. That's what this is. I mean, it really is. If you think about it, it really is. And look at all these heavy orders on the bid. I really feel like it's just gonna continue flushing. Um, but again, we've got stuff in place here just in case it doesn't. So the question is yeah, I'd probably want to get out break even, which is right at 30, the break of 30, which is right. Well, no, technically VWAP is 36. Yeah, because this is the part that I hate, because it could totally come up, squeeze up, and then close back below all of this junk and then roll over. So I'll have to be patient with it. I need to wait for a close above all this. I'm gonna stick to that plan. I wonder if I'm seeing something here. Okay, so we might get a little stomp down here. I'll look to add maybe even again at 27, at the break of 2770. If it's crushing through all this, why not? Why not? That would be the break of that candle's high, or low, excuse me. Solid. Let's see, the bids are getting chewed up. Yep. That's what makes it enjoyable. You can't go a day without a new lesson. That's right. That's right. Yeah, you learn something new every day. You really do. Stock market is the best, one of the best teachers. um, and not that it can teach you everything, but I think it can teach you a lot about yourself, a lot about your character. You know, I thought I was a patient until I traded. When I first got into day trading, and they were like, you got to be patient, you got to be a really patient person, because impatient people don't make it in the stock market. I was thinking to myself, well, that's me. I'm a patient guy. I'm really patient. I have a lot of patience, and I do. You know, there's a lot of things in life, just in general, that I've had to exercise great patience with. You know, I don't lose my cool quickly. I'm not one of these people that just, you know, gets pissed off at every little thing and throws chairs. And I mean, I'm very even keel, a very even keel type of guy. My wife will even tell you, like, I'm like one of the most chill people she knows. And when, you know, and when I'm faced with adversity or some adverse situations in life, I'm able to kind of calmly, smoothly navigate through it. And so, you know, so I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, I'm taking a look at all that. Yeah, I'm a patient person. But when you get into the stock market and it kicks your butt like 50 times over and over and over and over and over again, that shows you a whole new level of that. It really shows you that you're not as patient as you thought you were, and you're not as chill and even kill as you thought you were. I mean, there were days where I literally wanted to throw my keyboard, my computer monitor, and everything. I mean, I didn't, but there were definitely some times, like, I got up and just was like, holy crap, what is going on? And, yelling at my monitor. And, so it definitely proved to me that I'm not as patient as I thought I was. And I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm always about learning ways that I can improve with my character, my personality. Um, Obviously, there are just some things about me, some ways about me that are ingrained in me. I think, and with all of us, they're ingrained in us. We've been that way our whole life, and so some things are a little harder to change. But I still believe that you're never too old. You're never too mature. You're never too much of an adult to take a little bit of correction from somebody, someone, something like the stock market. You're never too old to learn lessons. I don't ever want to get to the place to where I think I know it all or where I think I've achieved everything. Um, I always want to. I always want to just feel like if there's like I don't want to be that guy where everybody knows you've got an issue in that certain area. Like you think you're cool and like, but you're like the only one. Like everybody else around you knows like you need to change, but yet nobody's telling you. I try to surround myself. That's why I try to, and I'm kind of rabbit trailing here, but that's why I try to surround myself with people who will actually tell me the real deal, people who aren't afraid to challenge me. I've got a lot of people in my sphere of influence, even mentors, people that, I mean, they're not afraid to give me a tongue lashing. I don't surround myself with just a bunch of yes men, just a bunch of people who's going to stroke my ego and make me think like, oh no, you're cool, man. You're the coolest guy on the planet. Like, I don't want people like that in my life. I want people who are willing to challenge me, and I want to be challenged, because no matter how old I get, there's always things that I can improve on. There's always things I can work on. There's always ways that I can be better. And so the stock market has shown me that with my patience. It has definitely shown me that I'm not as patient of a man as I thought. So anyway. This looks like, I mean, here on the 15-minute, real quick, um, it looks like it's getting a trend line bounce off of this. And it's coming back up over. Okay, so if it closes above that on the 5-minute, then I'm probably going to look to get out. I want to see a really hard flush back down. Ah, it closed. No, it kind of closed. Kind of closed below it. Okay, I was down like another 100 and some. Or I could have taken profit and been. Let's see, that's real. A real list of people. Yeah, you don't grow with sheep. So yeah, agreed. Yeah, that's true. Definitely don't grow with sheep. Okay, let's see if it breaks the second trend line. Here's the thing, this is the trickiest part because mRNA technically did not close above VWAP. And it could just be testing this trend line. Look at WB making a recovery. Look at all that. Came all the way down to 43.08. Ah. Okay, well, if it crosses 51, I'm going to need to get out. Because it's been a while since it's made another 5-minute high. Let's see. It's been even longer since it made a 15-minute high. This doesn't make sense to me. This totally should have come. I mean, we're looking at even at the 30-minute. And look at the 60-minute. It broke low and pops all the way back up. Good Lord, come on. What are you doing? mRNA could be just getting another rejection off that trend line. And I hope it is. Let's look at the 2-minute, 1-minute. I may have to add back in. Again, this is where it got me because it didn't close. But you see this often. I mean, I'm banking on the fact, just with everything that's going on in the market right now, this is due for a pullback, guys. But I think, I don't know, we still could be playing off of this trend line, so I think it's worth waiting and finding out. Now, let's see. That pullback could be a long trap. What's the full story? Yeah, this pullback right here on mRNA could be a bull trap. I'm looking for it to close back below VWAP and continue moving down. I'm looking for this to be a VWAP fake out because, I mean, nothing has truly closed above this VWAP. This candle didn't, and this candle still hasn't. I hate getting stuck between these. Like, it would have been better if this had just come all the way up here and just closed really nice and solid above that VWAP. That probably would have told me a little bit better of a story, but it closed right under VWAP, and then it's coming up here and testing this trend line, and it's possible that it just flushes back down. But I mean, even if there's a slight trend line breakout, but I'll tell you what, here's the thing. I mean, if it breaks that trend line's a pretty notable trend line. If it breaks it and closes above that trend line, I'm probably going to get out. Probably just going to get out. And it seems like it actually seems like it's heading in that direction. Although right here, this trend line is telling a little bit of a different story. It looks like there's still room to go up here. So that's why the charting on some of these broker platforms are not quite as good as they should be. Because here it looks like you could get in, like I could average in up here around 78, and we could get another bounce and a final move down. But I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm super heavy underwater here. I mean, my daily max loss, I try to keep it around 500 anyway. I mean, I've got some room to see if this stuff works out. So you said why, Noter? Why? What's that in reference to? Yes, SOX busy at the moment. Okay. SOX? Okay, I must not be hearing you correctly on that. That's all right. No worries. No worries. No worries. Oh, I see. That was the difference right there. I drew a new pivot point here on the 15-minute. That's what it was, sorry. Or there was a different pivot point there. That's true. Let's see if we could get another. Okay, I'm going to take another 100 at a 28.52 average. Okay, we're starting to get some big numbers on the ask. So may have to unload 200 shares. See if we get a rejection from that trend line. That would be huge. Okay. And I would take 200 off at 42. Okay, is this the rejection? Or are we going to keep moving up? If this is a rejection, I would look for a move back down to 42. And I'd probably wait for another break of VWAP. Come on. Let's see a flush. Nice little flush. Nice little flush. Break back down through VWAP. See selling into the 50s. There we go. Almost. One minute butting up on that 9 EMA. This totally looks like a trend line rejection so far. If we come above 80, I'll probably have to get out. So I've got my fingers on the hotkeys. I'll scale out. I'll take the first 200 off first and see what it does, just in case it ends up being like a fake out or something. There we go. Come on. Make your way down. Want to see a break of 54. Come on. Flush it down. We need to get into the 50s. Let's get into the 50s. Come on. This is looking good. Come on. Come on, flush it down. Flush it down, mRNA. There we go. Down into the 50s. Okay. Can we break 50? So we've got 400 at a 28.52 average, so that would be good. I'd be inclined to take maybe 100 off at 42. Just in case it has a VWAP rejection. I can unload some of that. I really want to hold on to the 400 for a full move down to the test of this trend line. Man, all those moving averages, it's got a breakthrough on the VWAP. Or on the 2-minute, sorry. Okay, it broke the 5-minute low. Okay, come on. There we go. There we go. Come on. You can do it. WB looks like it's resolving, so I might actually take this order off. WB is definitely resolving, so that's good. If this is a bounce play, all right, here's what I want to do. Because my trade with WB is resolving, man, I want to be patient with this, but it's escaping me a little here. See what this looks like. Dadgummit. I'm gonna have to get out, guys. Okay, taking half off there. 28.74 average. Broke trend line. Broke trend line, but could be a total fake out, which I'm gonna hate. Doing another one of these. Good Lord. Of course. It's okay. All right. WB. WB finally resolving. I'm going to see if we can get a move. I'm going to see if we can get a strong move down to enough levels to where, you know, I could take a $200 profit, maybe even like a $400 profit. I might even add to my position. Let's see, I've got a 43.43. So if we let it move to 41.43, how likely is that? That's the question. So this seems significant. So 42. All right. I will take the first 100 shares off at 42.13. If we can bust through 48, I think we'll get down there. Let's see. 42.27. 42.27 is significant, so all right. We'll say 42.33. I don't want to take it there, but seems like according to this, I mean, unless we just get a complete pummeled move. Let's look at the 30-minute. See where it's really at. 42.27. But if it breaks it, I mean, I really want to get the anticipation of the break on that. But at the same time, it's slow moving. I'll leave it at 42.03, 42.12. Put it at 42.12. Of course. Man. Trend line breakout, guys. It's riding that EMA nice too. All right, I gotta get out. Let's see if we can get it at where we bought it. Of course not. Let's try 80. This is now looking good for a long, actually, but all right, guys. Need to look at this with a fresh perspective. Okay. Also want to go up here on Tesla, see what the story is here. Okay, it's butting up against that trend line, might be breaking through. So it's got room to move all the way up here before any kind of significant pullback, according to the resistance anyway. Almost want to add here. So I got 43.01, 400. So now we only need to look for a move. We can catch the first 100 shares now at 42.31. So 42.31, 42.11. And then I think, where was that other level? It's got to bust down through 55 though. 42, right at 42. So if it busts through that, I think we could get a move down to 41, 61. So it'd be 41.81 and then 41.71. And I would be done. I would just get out, guys, just because, I mean, it's just been one of those days. Sorry about them RNA trade. That's frustrating. Yeah, that's all right, man. It happens. It happens. It is what it is. We're gonna try to dig our way out a little bit on this WB. I mean, like I said, the biggest thing that has kept me most confident on this trade is just the fact that it's, you know, it's an incredibly high short float. I could see people, especially after breaking through a lot of these levels, I could see people profit taking. So I would just like to get a flush down, you know, close to 42. I mean, even if it's stalled down there, I could take the rest of the shares, and I think I'd only be ending the day down like $150 maybe. So if this seems like it's making a significant pullback up to these levels, I'll just put in an order and hopefully get it, you know, catch it back here. $70. This is perfect short squeeze territory for WB. 42.81. I just want to see a flush. We need to get a flush down to 42. Come on. There we go. There we go. All the way down and just tank. You can do it. If it keeps holding the bottom though, I don't know. That's not gonna be a good sign if it keeps holding the bottom. Come on, let's get that break. Let's get a flush. There we go. 46. Come on. Sell on 49, 46. I'll tell you what, it looks like it just wants to keep doing all this back and forth movement all day long. Okay. Very tempting to go ahead and just take 100 shares off here. I'm going to take 100 shares off at 51. Of course, if it finally busts, it's going to bust hard. Do I get out? You gonna get me out? Nah. So close. Okay, got it. Down to 367. 4280. I want to see a continued move down to 42. I'll change this. Since I took that early, I'll change this to 4201, right at the test of 42. Now, it may take some time to get down there, but even the SPY looks kind of sideways at the moment. Yeah, you're right about that, Noter. It does. It does. I think it's hard to tell. This is why I said if the SPY does not make a significant bounce, I want to see a really heavy bounce on the SPY. And to me, we're not necessarily getting the heaviest bounce. So that kind of puts a damper on things. WB looks like it's turning around. I'm going to put a stop in just because if it is turning around, I mean, we're continuing to make 5-minute lows, but if it comes up to 80, really, let's say if it comes past 70, I don't know if I'm going to want to hold on to it any longer than that. So yeah, if it comes past 70, I think I'm going to want to go ahead and get out. We'll say 69, just so it triggers a little before 70. And then we'll just hold on to the shares and see what it can do. Sometimes it's better to do it this way, guys. Sometimes it's better to just set, and by the way, now I'm going to set it at 62, because if it breaks 62, we'll say 64, stop by. There's no reason to stay in it after that. I mean, if it keeps, because right now, kind of setting a good, although, although it did pop over that trend line. So now we're getting some kind of resolution. That's good. There we go. 42.27 is a key area. We want to break that. Definitely want to break that. 62. We'll say 63. Buy stop 63. Yeah. By the way, as I was saying, sometimes it's good to do this. Sometimes it's good to set something, just set a stop and just see what happens with the rest, because you'll come in later and it'll be like a massive flush. I mean, what this could do on this daily chart? This could finally crack through all these levels here and just have a massive sell-off. I mean, again, think about the short float. Think about the short float. I know I've been talking about that this whole time, but hence why, I think it's just continued to have a sell-off. I think people are getting rid of their shares, so I'm fine to shoot, man. I mean, even down, even to wait for the break of 40 on something like this, I'll just keep moving my stop down as it goes. So I never did check out SOZ. There is no SOZ. What am I missing here, Noter? You said SOX, SOZ. Busy on SOX, or SOX busy at the moment. SOZ. I'm guessing SOZ is just an acronym for something, and I'm totally not getting it right now. Where are we at? Let's see, WB. Okay, we broke 26. This is clutch. We broke 26. Now, knowing how WB's been operating, it's probably going to have some kind of stupid pullback and fake everybody out. So I'm going to keep my stop up here for now. But the next key break is at, let's see, 42. So we'll get a break at 42. Let's see, 41.40. Minute bars. Where's the 15-minute bar? Okay. It's 1 minute. Let's look at the 5 minute. Okay. So 42 is the next critical break. And then it looks like 41.61 might be. Let me double check on that to see if 41.61, yeah, falls into a lot of consolidation pattern around here. So I guess, I guess I would take, I can start piecing out like 50 shares, we'll say. It would be worth it to take 50 shares off at the break of 42 at like 41.80 or something like that. That's a full $50 move there. So I guess there's really no reason not to, even though I just got done talking about holding the full 300 shares all the way down here. But, I'm also a big believer of paying yourself as you go, and, holding and hoping can work sorely against you from time to time. So if it breaks 42, I think we'll see a move down to 41.80. And you know what? I'd be happy to get 100 off there. I got to remind myself, I'm not trying to profit on the day. I'm just trying to end break even right now, or even just a small red day. I can handle that. Man, I got eaten alive by WB. It's basically just been making it up the whole time. Making up for the poor trade the whole time. So just internet lingo. SOZ equals sorry. Okay, got you. Sorry. Well, it's all right, man. I accept your apology. Let's see. I'm gonna be hopeful for a break. Looks like it can go to 41.70. So I think safely taking the first 100 shares off at 41.80. I think is a legit move. Might even take 100 off here. Yeah, I'll take off 100 at 42.10 and move that one down to 41. Move that one down to 41. So we're down to 56 on the day. I can handle that. Totally handle that. It's no big deal. I've added 1,000 in liquidity, so I've spent very little in commissions. So 42.60 is Yeah. So if it is curling around, but if it's not, we may look to add again another 200 at 42. Because I think 41.93 would be a significant breaking point. I think we could make it to 41.30. I think we could. So if I see any selling on 42, I'm going to add to my position. Of course, that'll bring my average down greatly, but you know what? Because of how this stock behaves, I'm going to do stop sell 100 at 42.01. So we'll do it like that. So there we go. I should be in. Nope. Almost. It's okay. Rather not get in there. All right, and guys, I will be right back. Okay, I'm in 300, and I am back, guys, with a 42.39 average. Let's see where I'm going to want to get out on this. I would not hold 300 all the way up to here. Not when I've already greatly reduced my losses on the day. We need to see a continued trickle down. If it looks anything like we're going to get caught in a short squeeze, I'm getting out. Give it time to resolve and retest. We hit 96. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think breaking 90 is a key area. So 42.15 is going to be my stop, guys. So stop by there. So we're either going to continue going down, or I'm going to have to get out there. But again, we've greatly greatly reduced the loss on the day. Sometimes, guys, it's just about, man, it's just about, you know, being able to dig yourself out of a ditch and um, um, handle your losses, decrease your losses, basically just do whatever you can do. Um, and I'll go ahead and admit I did not do well on WB. Well, I did do well and I didn't do well. And here's where I didn't do well. Okay, it's almost really it's almost kind of like a catch-22 with everything here because where I you know I started getting in here, and I started averaging in, and I was averaging in with a conservative share size, what I consider to be a conservative share size, right? And this was getting bought up, squeezed out, and that's all this was a short squeeze, and I thought that to myself. I thought many times like this is just a short squeeze, just sit it out, ride it out. But I was very uncomfortable with where my P&L was at one moment, and so typically I don't like to hold through that, and it was just the only thing that kept me holding on was the confidence of a couple things. Number one, the SPY has been weak, right? We all know that the SPY has been weak, and thanks Notre Dame, by the way. Um, Good job preserving capital. Yeah, man. I mean that's what it's about, man. That's really what it's about at the end of the day. I mean, I always say the name of the game is stay in the game, right? Um, but I had a serious amount of confidence on this just because, okay, again, the SPY has been crushed these last couple of days, right? The SPY has been crushed. Um, this stock here had an incredibly high short float percentage. Again, 77%, I believe. It was 77%. Hold on, let me pull it back up. 77%, almost 78%. I mean, you can't ignore that. You just can't ignore that, right? And so, knowing that, okay, we've got a 77% short float, the SPY's been getting crushed. Um, Obviously, people are extremely short biased with this stock right now, and on top of that, we're butting up against all these moving averages. It just seemed to me, that it was going to be pretty impossible to really continue going higher and higher and higher. But the reason I got nervous and what I did wrong, well, so let me talk about the reason why I got nervous. The reason I got nervous, and I'll make it stopped out. Yeah. Okay, fine. Down 186 today. All right. Well, the reason I got nervous is because I'm thinking to myself, well, I checked FinViz, and FinViz is telling me something completely different than what the Gap scanner was telling me. FinViz is telling me that we're only dealing with 17 million share float. That changes the way that you trade a stock. That really changes the way that you trade a stock. And so that's why I started getting nervous. And I was like, man, this could squeeze up to, freaking $54 today. This could squeeze all the way up here. I mean, so I said to myself eventually that I think I was saying that if it goes over this, I'm going to finally get out. But there were several moments here, and this is where I went wrong. There were several moments here where I said, well, if it goes over this, I'll get out. If it goes over this, I'll get out. But then it would go over, and I wouldn't get out. That's bad. That's not a good habit to form. And look at this. This is why I tell you what, man. I don't even want to think about this anymore. But what a fake out. What a fake out day. Getting faked out left and right. mRNA. I mean, you can't. Good Lord. I mean, this is just kind of like, are you serious? It might be worth even, since it's teetering around these levels, the SPY is starting to drop. It might even be worth taking another stab at it. 2909, 2913. I mean, yeah. It's holding the 9 EMA. So there's really no confirmation that it's going to go down, but the SPY's taking a hit, and it could affect this. I don't know if it will, but it definitely could. This definitely could be a bull trap here. Let's see, I might take another stab at this. There's a lot on the ask though. Let's see here. I mean, 29.13 seems like a key level. And this could be the break here. But this could be about to turn over and finally come crashing down. So I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and go short there at 93, and I'll stop out at 29. 29.10. Let's see if we can get a turnaround, finally get a turnaround here. If we break down through 50, break down through VWAP, I could maybe end break even on the day. So, all right, guys, but yeah. So going back to WB, it was a total boneheaded move on my part to just not get out. Again, I think had I realized that this was genuinely a 17 million share float, that might have changed my story. Or I think if I had just even averaged in more conservatively at 50 shares at a time rather than 100 shares, I obviously could have withheld this pullback a lot longer. And that's all part of the conservative trading strategy, because the idea is you take lesser shares, and yes, you're risking not being able to make the best or make the most profit in the market. Okay. Like for example, if I had taken 50 shares and if it did go in my direction and say it moved like a whole $2, it would have been $100 trade, and I'd have to be happy with that. Whereas if I went ahead and just took 100 shares and it moved $2, I made $200. I mean, you're risking not making as much, but if you trade conservatively like that, though, you can typically hold through the pullbacks, and you can a lot of times when stocks move against you, as long as everything looks good fundamentally and from a technical perspective, you can continue to add and continue to add and continue to add, and it won't be too overbearing of a loss for you if it ultimately ends up moving against you. So today I continued to add with 100 shares. If you look here, I added 100, got some of them back, and then added again, got some of them back, added again. But imagine if this was all 50, I probably would have been able to hold on to a lot of that. I probably wouldn't have felt like I had to sell out at certain points moving up. And I actually, at the end of the day, might have gotten a much bigger move or a much bigger profit on all of this stuff. That's why it says, that's why my slogan says, conservative trades. It says risk less, profit more. Because number one, it allows you to profit. It allows you to be profitable more times than not because you increase your risk tolerance. You allow the market to fluctuate. You allow the movement of the market. The market is almost like a living, breathing organism. It expands and contracts, and I think if you allow it to just kind of play out, if you allow the story to play out, if you allow it to move against you a little bit, and even give yourself an opportunity to average in as it does move against you, as long as the fundamentals and technicals are good, then you definitely can profit more. You really can. But even if it doesn't move against you and it goes in your favor, well, then you still get a profitable trade. You'll have more profitable trades. They might not be as profitable or as big of profits, but you'll have more profitable trades. And if it does move against you and you can withstand averaging in without ultimately suffering too big of a loss, if it just doesn't work out for you, well, then you can be actually more profitable. So I hope that makes sense. I know I'm not necessarily explaining it the best way, but anyway, guys, it's that's all part of the strategy. So I think that's probably what I could have done better on WB. But it just looked really good out the gates. I probably should have, when it was moving against me, I probably should have just gotten out. But every time it went against me, I thought to myself, and this was kind of the catch-22 here. I was like, man, this has got to be just a temporary short squeeze. And ultimately it was. Ultimately, we can see right here, ultimately it was. I mean, it's just tanking all day long. mRNA seems like it might be actually moving in my favor. I would love to see still a move down to the 26s. And I mean, look at this. This is beautiful. So we're actually going to reduce our loss. I am going to look for a break of VWAP. SPY is moving down right now. So we'll see if we can get a break of VWAP, and I might take the first 100 shares off at, let's see, where would be a good spot? Maybe 28.31 or 28.33, we'll say. 28.33, yeah. We'll take off the first buy. So this is anticipation of the move of VWAP. So by the way, guys, this is a strategy of mine that I love to trade. You often have what's called flat tops or flat bottoms. Okay, and in this case, this is a flat top. And most people would be looking for a flat top breakout. Well, now we have failed that. We never got a flat top breakout. And not only that, but we crushed through and closed below the 9 EMA for the first time in a while. So even just temporarily, we are looking a little bit bearish, even if it's just a move down the VWAP. Okay, which means that I probably should take the first 100 at 43. I don't know. I'll watch how it plays out. But so anyway, if we're getting a flat top breakdown and we are going to start busting through these levels here, I think that's going to be pretty significant. So we just have to see. Obviously now it's moving back against me, but which isn't surprising with mRNA. So that's what we want to look for right there. This is what we want to look for. So this is what I'm going to be watching for. I may even add to my position. But I want to see a close below that EMA. And I really want to see a crush down below the 20 in the previous. So I would add another. I'll probably add another 200 at 28.54. Maybe another 100, we'll say. $56. Let's look at this. 53 is the clutch break, but yeah, I guess 55 would be stop, sell 100 there, and then maybe even yeah, there we go. We're gonna get that 300. There we go. So we got a 300 average at 28.80. And now you want to see a breakdown of VWAP and a final break of that trend line. And I'll probably get out at, I mean, if it breaks 28.85. So I'll tell you what, mRNA is just playing around with people today. Really want to see it get crushed there. Yep. There we go. Come on. Close below that VWAP, break below the trend line. That's what we're looking for. Come on. I want to see a push. Ah. If it closes above the EMA, yeah, we'll just go ahead and get out. Come on. Get crushed. This I don't like. This I don't like. I don't like that. Okay, we're gonna stop out at 28.80. So gonna give it room to work out. Really probably ought to be 86. I'm fine with that. Well, let me think about that for a minute. Let me think about that just for a minute. Oh, that's not the 15-minute. There we go. Yeah. I'll take it at 79 by stop. No, I'm going to pull that off, and here's why. Because I need to let this play out. Right now, I'm starting to trade I'm starting to trade a little too nervously, just because I don't want to, lose any, or I really, yeah, I don't want to lose anything here. But at the same time, I could easily get stopped out, and then it could race down and do this whole trend line breakthrough. So it seems like it's rolling over. I need to let it play out, even if that means setting my stop all the way up to, 29 or whatever. I think I'll do that. I think that's a good place to set the stop. I think if it hits 29, let's see, 29, yeah. Obviously, if it's 29, or even breaks previous 5-minute candle. Let's see where the 15-minute candle would be. Previous 15-minute candle is at 29, so yeah, I'm going to set my stop there. So 28.98 we'll say at the anticipation of the break. Spies tanking. If this gets crushed, though, I may consider adding to my position. 29.10. I'll take it at 85. I know I said I'm going to let it play out, but the thing is it has not gone past the previous 5-minute candle since this candle right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's holding this line. So if it doesn't break the low of this candle and it breaks the high of this, I think that'll probably be bad news. So we'll stop by at, you know what, we'll give it even a shot to break a little above it, and then we'll just take it. If it can break through 90, we'll stop by the 300 shares there. Otherwise, I'm going to let this ride. So, guys, anyway, appreciate you joining me today. I've got to keep it moving. I've got other stuff I've got to do over here, but I will be back with a daily trading recap, and you can come back and see how all of this worked out today. Obviously, if mRNA starts tanking and if I add to my position, we may actually end green. So, we'll see. But anyway, guys, it's been real, and thanks for joining us, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.